some warehouses, potentially impacted.
Okay. So obviously wind damage is going to be a big threat. These storms are strong and are producing tornadoes. If you're at Navy Pier, you need to get inside. If you're at the ballpark, you need to get inside. Downtown streets are not going to be safe, and you're not going to get visuals. Remember, you're surrounded by huge buildings. You're not going to have any warning that this is coming from, except for the fact the warnings are going off. You're under a tornado warning, and these spin-ups are changing up very quickly. You know, earlier we were taking a look at Wrigley Field. Let's check back in to see what it looks like now. And there were a few people out. Looks like most people are getting the word that there is a tornado warning in place. There's a few people running around, walking around. But the bulk of people, I think, are sheltering in place right now. Playing it safe. Keep an eye out. This is the second tornado warning within an hour for downtown Chicago, and so the warnings have kind of been going off continuously, kind of really interrupting a lot of people's plans this evening, but safety is always first.
Yeah, it's kind of deceiving right there in Wrigley Field right now, and that's what kind of concerns me when you have storms that are severe that roll through. You get a break, and then you get severe storms that roll through again on the backside of that. Sometimes that throws people off and think, oh, one and done, but this is not a one and done. You can see the severe storms that do have rotation still remain west of Chicago. Of course, they're all moving towards the lake shore, so we get through this and we're going to be all right, I think, here for the rest of the night. It becomes prime over Lake Michigan, maybe lower Michigan or Indiana. We'll keep an eye on that threat. You're not under any type of watch in those areas right now.
We do have some new pictures coming into the Weather Channel, getting reports of funnel clouds. This is one we saw just a few moments ago.
Yeah, this was the initial warning, but there's some different vantage points of that tornado that we were dealing with earlier. There's that funnel that was spotted. That was the one near Cicero and Oswego as it was approaching near Midway about an hour ago. And so those are some of the visuals that we were seeing with some of those storms as they work their way back into Chicago. So let's pull up the radar really quickly. JD's highlighting the two most concerning areas. Notice, guys, when you look at the radar, you see this little like circle in the radar. That's where you got rotation. So there's very likely at least a funnel, possible tornado there near Proviso. That's O'Hare. That would be the one near O'Hare, and then you've got the one near Park Ridge and pushing towards the north side of Chicago near Skokie and heading towards the lakeshore in that vicinity as well, just east of Des Plaines.
Yeah, that one looks pretty nasty, and it also looks like there might be a second area of rotation that might be developing south of there, south of Rosemont. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. But everybody in that vicinity, really, if you're anywhere in the polygon, you should be getting to your tornado safe place. It doesn't really matter if you're near the rotation or not. It's the best practice right now, especially under an evolving situation like this. We could get some damaging winds in areas where we're not getting the rotation as well. So keep that in mind. Not really seeing any big hail signatures with these. So
we're not even seeing a lot of thunder and lightning with these at all either. So they're pretty low developing, and it's mainly a high rotation shear environment that these storms are in, which is prompting just all of these to be tornado warnings and not necessarily severe thunderstorm warnings.
Chris, do you see 19 right there, right in the middle of the radar where that heavy rain is? And you take 19 to the right, almost where that arrow is. That's where Wrigley Field is.
Okay, so so let's see where the arrow is, right there.
So yeah, it's almost pointing at it, I think. Yeah, right in there.
Yep.
Yeah, so
it's headed that direction.
Yeah, so it's going to be just a little bit of time. We're not going to be stopping to take pictures for too long here out in front of Wrigley Field. With that mess that is right over that number 19 right now is heading, yes, in that direction. That is heading toward Wrigley Field right now. So as we watch the camera on the left, conditions are going to deteriorate in a big way pretty soon. Pretty soon. The 19 is what you could take 19 all the way out to the south side of O'Hare, which you see right there, where 294 goes up to 90. Those lines there south of Des Plaines, that's where O'Hare is. So you can kind of think of, right in there. So 19 kind of takes you from the north side of 19, where O'Hare is, you take it east toward the water, and then eventually you'll be south of 19, where Wrigley Field is.
Things really going downhill in Evanston too. I might mention that you guys are probably starting to get the really heavy rain. Looks like we've got that area of rotation off to your west. So Evanston, now is time that if you haven't already done it, you need to be getting to your tornado safe place, lowest level of your home, away from doors and windows, the lowest floor that you got. A lot of us have basements in the Midwest. If you don't have a basement though, get to an interior room like a closet or a bathroom. If you're a teenager and your parents are out and you're not home, don't be calling mom, just, get to the tornado safe place, right? You guys can do it. Just get to that interior room. A bathroom a lot of times is a good one. You don't want any windows if you can help it, right? And you want as many walls as you can between you and the outside of your home. And just wait until the warning's over. And hopefully we'll get through this all right, you guys.
Yeah, everyone in that entire red box, which is the tornado warning, not everybody's going to see a tornado, but the reason why the box is kind of large is because while we have the area rotation there's new areas that are firing up along that. So the threat is there for everybody. Not everybody will see the tornado, but you need to take that threat seriously because these things change very quickly. And that's something they don't want people to be caught off guard thinking, okay, the tornado's north. They just shaved off part of the warning. So O'Hare not technically under the warning anymore, but now the Lakeshore and all of downtown Chicago remains as these areas of rotation are headed towards the city and the Lakeshore. So from downtown north, you've got a pretty significant threat here with the possibility of tornadoes. And these are the same tornadoes that have produced confirmed tornadoes on the ground as they continue to push off towards the east.
Chris, we do have some new video coming into the Weather Channel I want to show you here on Storm Center as we continue to watch the tornado warned storm in Chicago. This, if you look closely, you can see a little bit of lowering in the clouds, a couple of spots like an upside down mountain there. On the horizon, the lowering of the clouds right in the center of the screen, somewhat obscured. It looks a little fuzzy, I should say, because of the rain that's coming down. So this is in the greater Chicago area, not sure exactly where it is or what direction. Seeing it for the first time, not seeing any landmarks that jump out as being super obvious here from this vantage point. Do have some more new video that's coming into the Weather Channel. Again, there's an active warning right now. This is from earlier, and it sounds like you can hear the sirens.
Yeah. Yep.
And I think this, if I'm not mistaken, is just south of downtown. So my guess is this was that storm that was ongoing. It was the southernmost tornado warned storm, is my guess.
Yeah.
Because I think this was kind of down south, like not too far away from Midway.
Yeah, that was where the first big tornado warning was, the one near Midway. And the second one area now that we're dealing with is near O'Hare, pushing east now of O'Hare and into downtown Chicago and parts of the Lakeshore.
Yeah, it looks like we don't have any tornadoes confirmed on the ground any longer, okay?
Yeah.
We are seeing rotation still in two different areas on radar. The good news is that both of them have broadened out a little bit. So hopefully that trend will continue and we'll see that continue to broaden and weaken a little bit, but still watching those areas now near Maywood, near River Forest, near Forest Park, and then that second area, which was over towards the Park Ridge area, is now a little bit more south. I think we're looking at places over towards Norridge, maybe up towards Lincolnwood and Skokie. Skokie, you need to be in your tornado safe place. That's where we're seeing some of that broader rotation. And Evanston, it looks like it's just going to be shaven really close to you, maybe on the south side. Evanston, take your tornado precautions because this is too close of a shave to risk it. You want to get into your safe place. That should be arriving around 7:17. So we're just very close to the timing of that happening. And then Chicago, as we get into the downtown area, the edge of this should be coming in by the bottom of the hour. So you have, 10 minutes, a little over 10 minutes to get to your safe place until this thing moves on through and it passes finally.
So the rain's picking up a little bit more here at Wrigley Field. We were expecting it to, and it's starting to right now. It's obviously a bit more wet. We'll see as we look live right now. We'll see if the visibility goes down even more as the storms are getting closer and closer to this part of Chicago. So this is north of downtown, just about due east of the southern part of O'Hare. So if you're in the one of the runways in the southern part of O'Hare and you head due east toward the water, you'd find yourself through the nice neighborhoods here in Chicago and around Wrigleyville here and Wrigley Field. As we're seeing some of the rain coming in. Chris, doesn't look super heavy at the moment, but it's not too far away from where some of that rotation is, kind of right in between the two areas that are highlighted there. You see the 19 on there, and there's like where the sweep's going by, the 19 in the square. There's a line right in there. So if you take that out a little bit farther to the east and then south a little bit, between that road that goes northwest and southeast. Yeah, somewhere in there is where Wrigley is. So this is showing us the rotation on the radar on the right, the rain on the left. So not in the heaviest of rain here, but still this rain is associated with the storms that are currently tornado warned on here north of downtown Chicago. Chicago is in the warning.
Yeah, I might mention the Kane and Lake counties are both now in the clear. Okay, your warnings have been allowed to expire or canceled a little bit early, so you guys are fine. If you live over towards Des Plaines, over towards Layton, everywhere west of there, you guys are out of the woods for now.